Daniel Sports Central, we go over an NFL game preview and prediction on the divisional round matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Crucial matchup for both these teams coming up here in the divisional round. You got the Cowboys coming off their huge win at Tampa, and this team is potentially the most dangerous team in the NFC heading into this matchup as they take on the 49ers, the hottest team in the NFC and potentially in the playoffs. We'll be over a full game preview and prediction on this match for today, starting with their team trends. The Cowboys beat the Bucs on the road 31-14 on Monday night. Quite a win there for Dallas, knocking off Tom Brady and the Bucs on Monday night. And in the wild card round, Dallas was 12-5 in the regular season, 13-5 overall heading into this matchup. And obviously this is a team that coming off of the Washington loss to finish out the regular season, losing that game by 20. Some were questioning whether or not the Cowboys would even make it past the wild card round. But this team has made it to the divisional to take on the 49ers, which, the Niners are a very hot team right now. They've won 11 straight heading into this matchup, which, considering some of the circumstances that San Francisco has been through with, starting three different quarterbacks this season, from Trey Lance and him getting injured to Jimmy Garoppolo and him getting injured as well. So the 49ers are relying on their third-string quarterback, Brock Purdy, the rookie, who was drafted last in the 2022 NFL draft. And he has had some success with this team. This team is playing very well right now, and the Niners 13-4 in the regular season, 14-4 heading into this matchup. They just beat Seattle 41-23, took care of the Seahawks in that one, and this team is once again on an 11-game winning streak heading into this matchup. Definitely one of the hottest teams in the playoffs. Games be on Sunday, January 22nd in Santa Clara, California. 49ers are the home team here. Spread's going with the 49ers by 3.5. So the Niners are favored by just over a field goal here. Over-under is 46.5. And the FPI is going with Dallas here, 52%. So despite the spread going on the Niners side, the FPI is going with the Cowboys here. Series history, Dallas leads at 19-18. San Francisco won the last game, but Dallas has won 3 out of the past 5. Stat comparison, Cowboys are a balanced team. Honestly, both teams are really complete teams on both sides of the ball. The Cowboys are 4th in points per game, 5th in points allowed this season. They're 14th in pass yards a game, 9th in rush yards, and then for yards allowed, they're 8th in pass defense, 22nd in rush defense. So you got a team that's strong offensively, really in both rushing and passing. You obviously got Dak Prescott and the backfield with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. And defensively, this team has been great as well, especially when defending the pass. And as for the 49ers, they're 5th in points per game, 1st in points allowed. This is usually talked of the best defense in the league in the 49ers, and you'll see why. This team has been dominant defensively down the stretch, and they've played, honestly, throughout the season, this defense has really has won several games here for the 49ers when the offense hasn't come through quite as much. But even if you look at the past 4 games for the 49ers, this team has scored at least 37 points in their last 4 games. This is in the NFL, and you usually don't see offenses scoring that much week in, week out unless the team is extremely hot, and that's what the 49ers are right now. This team is firing on all cylinders on offense, and defensively they've been great as well. There's no doubt with that. And rush defense has been a main strength for the 49ers, being 2nd in the league there. And if you look at the rush yards a game, they're 7th in the league. Obviously, you got Christian McCaffrey, who joined the team about midway through the season in a trade from Carolina. And he has had, he's been a huge addition to this team. And yeah, you consider this team is undefeated with having Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, he's made a huge difference. Recent matchups, Dallas beat the Buccaneers 31-14 in the wild card, lost the Commanders by 20. They beat the Titans by a couple of touchdowns. They beat Philadelphia back on Christmas Eve 40-34, and they lost the Jaguars 34-40 in overtime. Obviously, the Jags were just starting their end-of-season streak there to get into the playoffs, and that was a brutal loss there in overtime, but definitely a close matchup. But for the 49ers, they beat the Seahawks 41-23, beat the Cardinals, finished out the regular season 38-13, beat the Raiders in overtime 37-34, beat the Commanders 37-20, and also beat Seattle back in Week 15 21-13. So you can see, once again, the past 4 games, the 49ers have been especially good on offense, and considering this defense is arguably the best in the league, that's definitely a huge deal. Key points, Dallas 13-5, coming off of a dominant win over Tampa Bay, and with a win, this team becomes a huge Super Bowl threat. You look at that Eagles and Giants game that's on the other side of the division on the NFC. I could easily see either team winning that matchup. I mean, the Giants, I think, the way that they played against Minnesota, I think the Giants could very well knock off the Eagles. And you consider, I mean, whichever team wins this matchup, I mean, I know the Giants are an outstanding team, and whichever team the winner of this team plays, the winner of this game plays, I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup in the NFC Championship. But, I mean, honestly, my point being, any of the 4 teams that are in the divisional right now, it doesn't really matter what the seed is. Any of the 4 teams could win it. I mean, Cowboys, they looked great against Tampa Bay, and if they can get a streak going, I mean, it looks very likely based on how they played against Tampa. So, once again, any of the 4 teams remaining in the divisional in the NFC could very well go to the Super Bowl. That is, without a doubt for me. But for the Cowboys, a big constant for this team and a big pattern is when Dak Prescott plays well, this team plays well. So we need to see Dak Prescott on his best game if Dallas wants to win this game. I mean, he can play at a high level. This offense has got all of the talent necessary to be a Super Bowl caliber team. It's just been a bit inconsistent at times this season. But yeah, defensively, I mean, this team has really shown that they can be a Super Bowl caliber team as well. But obviously, there have been some games this season where that has not been the case. But for the 49ers, Brock Purdy continues an incredible run. I mean, usually Mr. Relevant in the draft kind of, there usually aren't very many standouts that get drafted last in the NFL draft. But Brock Purdy has changed that narrative, that is for sure. He has led this team to a huge winning streak. He's kept the fire alive for the 49ers, and this team is in the divisional round and very much a big-time Super Bowl contender right now. And defensively, they're a brutal team. They got home field advantage in what is a crucial game here. I mean, honestly, I know both teams had dominant wins in the wild card round. The 49ers might be the more consistent, dominant team, but this game could very well go either way. And that said, let's get the prediction here for the Cowboys and the 49ers coming up here in the divisional round. In the end, this one came down to San Francisco, how complete this team has been looking. I know defensively they can play at an extremely high level. You got Christian McCaffrey. This team is undefeated with him. Brock Purdy is playing as good as ever, and he's exceeded all expectations. And for that reason, I'm going with the 49ers here. 30-23 is my predicted final score. This one might just be the toughest game to predict in the divisional round. I think all 4 games are tough. I felt pretty comfortable about my picks on the AFC side. Both of the NFC games were pretty much toss-ups. But in the end, I am going to go with the 49ers here. 30-23 is my final score. I think the Cowboys keep this game close. This should be an incredible matchup. I just think in the end, the 49ers, the way they're playing, it does kind of concern me. I do think Brock Purdy is an outstanding quarterback. I'm taking nothing away from that. But I do think a rookie quarterback who hasn't been in this situation before, there's a chance that whether it's in this game or the NFC Championship or whenever, there's a chance that we do see a poor game out of Brock Purdy. Maybe he throws a couple interceptions that are crucial to the game's result. I could be totally wrong on that. Once again, I mean, as consistent as he's been playing at this point in the season, I mean, there's a chance he just runs the table and wins a Super Bowl for the 49ers. But it does concern me. And I do think the Cowboys, being a more experienced team, you could say healthier team as well, I mean, I feel like this is a game that could definitely go either way. But the way that the 49ers played against Seattle, the way they pulled away in the second half, I do feel comfortable picking the 49ers in the end. See, I'm going to say 55% towards the Niners. Over-under's 46.5. I'm going to be taking the over. I think we saw the over for, every game. Just about every game in the wild card round was over. So that is something you can take into the divisional round. It could be totally different, but I do want to take the over here. I think both offenses prevail, and I do think Dallas keeps this game close while the 49ers are scoring upwards of 30. And I do have the Niners covering the spread in the end. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup. And I appreciate you guys watching as always. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.